It's 11 p.m. The deadline is tomorrow morning. You told yourself you'd start 3 days ago. And yet here you are watching a video about why you can't start things on time. Isn't this the daily routine at this point? Your brain isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. The problem is that it was designed for a world that was present 200,000 years ago, but it has far gone. You think procrastination is a modern flaw, a character defect, something to fix with the right app or the right morning routine. But what if it's not a flaw at all? What if it's a feature, just one that's pointed at the wrong target? Let's go back in time to understand it. 200,000 years ago, your ancestors lived in small bands, moving across landscapes that could kill them in 100 different ways. There were no calendars, no deadlines, no quarterly reports, but only the present and the handful of hours left beyond the present. If a lion was approaching, you didn't need to think about it. You immediately acted. Your brain rewarded that immediacy with a jolt of relief once the danger passed. You had to survive for now and worry about next week later, which is not guaranteed. This is the part most people miss. The brain's reward system evolved to prioritize immediate outcomes over distant ones. Researchers call this temporal discounting. It means your brain values a reward today far more than the same reward tomorrow, even when tomorrow's reward is objectively bigger. Economist Matthew Rabin studied this extensively, showing that people consistently choose smaller immediate rewards over larger future ones, then are surprised by their own choices later. Sounds familiar? Here's where it gets interesting. Your ancestors weren't choosing between writing a report and watching videos. They were choosing between eating the fruit right now or saving it for later, when it can rot, get stolen, or simply not matter anymore because they were dead. In that world, favoring the present wasn't a flaw. It was how you stayed alive. Fast forward to now. The deadlines are real, and so are your consequences. But your brain still runs the old software. It still treats writing a report due in 3 days as a future that might not matter, while scrolling for 5 more minutes feels like a fruit sitting right in front of you, ripe and ready. This is the mismatch. Your environment changed at lightning speed. Your brain did not. Think about how strange this actually is. You can picture your future self failing the deadline, and you can feel the dread of it right now. And yet that vivid imagined future still loses to the vague pleasure of doing literally anything else in this exact moment. Psychologist George Ainsley called this pattern hyperbolic discounting. The closer a reward gets in time, the more disproportionately valuable it feels. Almost like gravity pulling harder the closer you get to an object. Your future self is a stranger to your present brain. And nobody works hard for a stranger. It's not that you don't care about your future self. It's that your brain doesn't fully believe your future self is you. Brain imaging studies, done by neuroscientist Hal Hershfield, have shown that when people think about their future selves, the brain activity looks similar to when they think about a completely different person. Not a future version of you, just someone else. Someone who'll deal with it. So when you procrastinate, you're not being lazy toward yourself. You're outsourcing your problems to a stranger who happens to share your name and will wake up in your bed tomorrow. Imagine if your ancestors had to do quarterly tax filings. Picture a hunter-gatherer sitting by the fire, staring at a stone tablet that says, "Due in 90 days, while in the background, a saber-toothed cat creeps closer. Every instinct in their body locks onto the cat immediately. Heart rate up, muscles ready, full attention. The cat is real. It moves, it smells, it has teeth. The deadline, meanwhile, doesn't growl, doesn't move, has no smell or shape closing in. It's just an abstract number sitting somewhere out on a timeline. And next to a real cat, a real fire, a real meal in front of you, that abstract number simply doesn't stand a chance. That's basically what a deadline is to your brain. An abstract shape with no teeth, competing against a phone that lights up, a snack that's right there, a conversation that's happening now. The deadline doesn't roar, so your brain doesn't run. But here's the counterintuitive part. Procrastination isn't really about laziness, time management, or even willpower. It's about emotion. Specifically, it's about avoiding a negative feeling in the present moment. Psychologist Timothy Pitchell, who has spent decades researching this, found that procrastination is fundamentally an emotion regulation problem, not a time management problem. People delay tasks that trigger anxiety, self-doubt, boredom, or frustration, because avoiding that feeling provides instant relief. Instant relief is exactly the kind of reward your ancient brain was built to chase. So when you avoid starting something, you're not failing to manage your schedule. You're successfully managing your emotions, just in a way that creates a much bigger emotional cost later. Your brain made a trade. Less discomfort now for more discomfort later, paid to a stranger. And that stranger is yourself in the future. Now here's where the modern world makes everything worse. For most of human history, there weren't many tempting alternatives competing with the task at hand. If you were avoiding building a shelter, your alternatives were sit there, or maybe pick berries, mildly engaging at best. In contrast, the modern world, the moment you feel the smallest flicker of discomfort, there is an infinite frictionless menu of instant reward, and available at all times. Videos, messages, games, an endless scroll of compelling, bite-sized content, each one engineered to deliver a dopamine hit faster than your task ever could. Your ancient brain, the one built to chase immediate reward and avoid immediate discomfort, is now living inside the most overstimulating reward environment that has ever existed. It's like giving a brain wired to crave occasional sugar and unlimited buffet, and then being shocked that it eats too much. So, what do you actually do with this? Knowing your brain prioritizes the immediate over the distant means, the goal isn't to fight that wiring head-on. It's nearly impossible to out-willpower 200,000 years of evolution. Instead, the trick is to make the present moment work in your favor instead of against you. That means shrinking the task until it feels immediate. Not write the report, but open the document and write one sentence. One sentence has almost no emotional weight. Your ancient brain can handle that. It doesn't feel like a fire-breathing deadline. It feels like picking up a single berry. It also means making your future self feel less like a stranger. Hirschfield's research suggests that when people are prompted to vividly imagine their future selves, almost like meeting them, they make choices that better serve that future person. Visualizing your future self sitting there, relieved that you did the work, can shift the emotional weight just enough. And it means recognizing that the urge to avoid a task is often just your brain trying to dodge a feeling, not the task itself. The feeling passes, the deadline doesn't. So here you are, it's 11 p.m. The deadline is tomorrow, and you're still sitting here, unable to start. But what if the problem isn't laziness? What if your brain is responding exactly the way it was designed to be? A brain built over hundreds of thousands of years to protect a person who needed to survive the next 5 minutes, not the next 5 days, weeks, or even months. In today's world, there are no lions nearby, hopefully, but your brain is still listening for it. And every time you choose comfort over a deadline, you're not failing. You're just listening to an alarm that's still going off, 200,000 years after the threat disappeared. The deadline is still tomorrow morning, but maybe tonight, you open the document anyway. Not to finish it, just to write one sentence. Just to prove to the stranger waking up in your bed tomorrow that for once, today's version of you had their back. So my question to you is, if you'd help your friend in a heartbeat, why treat yourself as a stranger? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more thoughtful videos.